Kenza. Okay, can you be quiet and make sure you close the door when you leave? Welcome everyone to another fabulous game from the L5R Discord World Cup 2020. This is a round 4 game between Canada and Sweden. Very tense situation here between the two groups. I believe the record is currently 2 wins, 2 losses apiece. So this is a very decisive game. Well, one of the decisive last 3 games. One of the teams is going to have to win next 2 of the next 3 to stay on the bubble for these teams. So we are heading into, so the matchup itself is Canada on the top of our screen here. Zarzuckett playing Crane. He's a well-known and very good kill Crane player. He has visited a lot of bridges. Many innocents have fallen off them while he's around. On the bottom we have High House of Light and Dragon represented by Christian for Sweden. And he is playing, I'll pop into the deck list if I get a chance, he is playing a version of the now popular, although it's it's a fairly recent deck, although certainly you've seen enough of it and in sort of enough uniform way that it's seeming like old hat. But while they're doing their mulligans, I will pop over to the deck lists a bit. That's the World Cup, sorry. And you can see the Canadian Crane is on Scorpion, Splash, Keeper of Air. He has Market of Kazi no Kami, which is a bit spicy or different. Calling in Favors, Mark of Shame is the restricted card. And Soshiro Mayako fills out the rest of the splash there. Other than that, he's got 3 duels to death and 3 noble sacrifice, along with 3 voice of honors, 2 gossips, and 3 defend your honors to stop any sort of attempts to like brazenly, protect who he wants to kill. On the Dragon Splash, we have Monk deck, new Mitsu, with the Crane Splash for the duelist training, new name, return the offense. So let's pop over, not miss any of the action here. So anyone in chat? Yes. Yeah, chat, yeah. I in the stream title I got it wrong. I corrected it when I was posting it, so I'll get it right when I do the VOD on YouTube. Thank you for pointing it out, though. he's a Kirsten. So what do people in the chat think of this matchup in particular? Obviously, it's based around one big character, so kill would seem to be favored. But at the same time, there is built-in protection for this character in the conflict anyway. So we'll see how effective Dragon is at keeping the noble sack itself at bay. Okay, starting off the game, we see Mitsu come out. Right off the top, that's what this deck's looking to buy. All the fates invested into him. Obviously, he can gain more as the game goes on, so 2 fate isn't as short-term an investment as it would be for some other clans. That's how we see Brash Samurai and Doji Whisper, 2 really solid low-cost characters to put the pressure on early in terms of number of conflicts. We see Pass. We see Zarzuckett always rolls the dice. He's probably not looking to avoid that resto if he can. Oh no, he found it. But he found it with the Brash Samurai, which is nice, optional there. It was on fire, so Mantra Fire used to gain an extra fate on Mitsu for free. A little bit of a cantrip there. Is Mantra Fire a cantrip? I can't remember. Draw 1 card, yeah. It's a little effective, put a fate on and draw a card. Tagashi Mitsu fires off a policy debate immediately. 2 Proving Grounds. Oof, so he's got a duel in hand with 2 Proving Grounds. That's pretty solid. There is a 2-to-1 bid to win. We see in Crane's hand double Bonsai, court games, double defend your honor, duel to death, noble sacrifice, 2 noble sacrifices, and away of the Crane. Wow. So this fire ring would have been the kill. All he needed was his fire ring to go off, and everything else was set in stone from there. The duel to the death gets chucked. I'm surprised. I'm surprised by that. I didn't really see. Oh, another policy debate goes off. Oh no, that is the policy debate. Oh, the Mantra Fire is the policy debate, right? The gets honor because now he's not necessarily gonna break this province, which is what he was trying to avoid by not honoring the Brash Samurai. So sword goes down on Mitsu. Chat, maybe you guys let me know what the line is there to go for duel to the death. I don't see duel to the death really landing on Mitsu at any point, especially once it becomes large. I would be more afraid of the noble sack, but I guess if this fire ring doesn't happen, there's no way to get a fire ring off on Mitsu this turn. With the double bonsai, yeah, I guess the duel to the death, then the noble sack. That's true. That was a line there. First you get bigger, then you force the duel to death, dishonor, then your noble sack. Okay. Anyway, we get the bonsai. We see a defend your honor, which is another duel that's winnable. These proving grounds. So we see Zarzuckett pump in 4 fate to cancel the duel here, 4 honor, and also cancel the double proving ground draw, which is pretty devastating. Of course, box is always available if the dragon ever becomes afraid of like the duel to the death or something like that, because now he is bigger. One of the duels to deaths has been discarded. There was only the single. Okay, but he's bigger, and now we get the fire ring being the real problem here. Another Funkatanic goes on Mitsu, because if the fire ring is able to hit Mitsu, then it's noble sack time. So he honors, he uses Mitsu's ability, because 3 cards have been played, to honor himself. Okay, and there's no mark of shame in the hand, so that can't be used to honor. So the best that the ring could be used for now, if it succeeds even, and it's unlikely to at 11 to 8. Defender wins the conflict. Return the offense is played. And that's a unwinnable duel for Crane, so that's going to be another. So these Proving Grounds ended up drawing 4 cards. It was very hopeful. I agree, Outcast. Yeah, it was extremely. It was one of those plays that I guess high risk, high reward. Like you may not get it, but if you do, then you're pretty much set for the rest of the game, and you just kind of can grind them out beyond that. Okay, so yeah, in the return of the fence, Mitsu doesn't bow. And we see another policy debate after the return of the offense. Noble sack gets chucked. Oof. So that's 2 policy debates. So that's like 4 duels that Mitsu played that time in that round. And it was all against a character who didn't need the box to be honored as well. So the Kyuden Kahia was not used throughout for any of those kind of like free honor effects from your opponent's duels. And Takoshi, 7 fate to buy Yukuni doesn't look that strong coming into the next round, because you can only use your box on one of them, but I suppose you could alternate. So these 2 together would be quite frightening. Mitsu goes on to the attack at the Earth Ring, hits Upholding Authority. Their hand is Defend Your Honor, Hot Tattoo, Hurricane Punch, double let goes, and policy debate. Now, a lot of people would snap chuck the let goes, but Zarzuckett deck has really no attachments to let go of any use. Elegant Testants and Mark of Shames. So he might go for the Hawk Tattoos, might think that policy debate. There was a 3rd policy debate in hand. Oof. All 3? Turn 1? Yikes. That's really good for Sweden. I think I agree with you that they can't fend off the Mark of Shame. Mark of Shame is like because a lot of their protections is in conflict. They're defend the honor, policy debate to get rid of the card, or and the High House of Light is only for events. So okay, so we're heading back to Restoration Balance. There's only 4 cards. Yep. We see Way of the Crane played on the Whisper. Okay, this is in the Air Ring. He's first player next turn, so maybe he wants Void Ring for next turn, or Water Ring. Air Ring, I can sort of see it. I guess he was down to 7 honor. He needs a lot of honor for the duels, so he can bid to win when he needs to. Void seemed like it might be preferable, but at the same time, we know this Mitsu is probably, as long as the Dragon player can draw cards, the Mitsu's probably not going anywhere until it's killed. Okay, so going to the second round, we have Dragon keeps Yukuni. They lost a Proving Ground. They still have a Proving Ground. So the double Proving Grounds on turn 1 was really, really impactful. Mystic is not useful. Keeper's not useful. So if Dragon wants to buy anything, it'll be the Kuni. We see the Doji Challenger, excellent as first player. At least take Mitsu out of a conflict, barring another Return of the Offense. So Dragon probably pondering whether they want to buy anything here. Facing down a fairly wide board to have only one character, but so I don't know if they'll opt to go Yukuni with two. I mean, best would be copy probably the Brash Samurai if you buy Yukuni, or you could also copy Mitsu, I guess. We see some players from both teams. Candidates. Actually, no. Christian looks to be battling them alone at this point, and doing quite well. But kind of team I know from is very supportive, as is most teams or all teams in the World Cup. So it's fairly late in Sweden, very late actually, I would imagine. So that's very nice of Christian to be playing at this time. We see bid. We see Christian putting a little bit of honor pressure. He has still has a card lead after bidding a 4-5 there. A dojo's flipped, which, I mean, Dragon's characters are just generally so big, or at least big at this point, that it's going to be tough to actually get that dojo to do something, but at least it's a free honor for Kyuden Kikita. Okay, Gossip is played. Zarzuckett obviously having a plan, something that he wants to pull off this round and needs to take something out of the equation. Okay, he knows he has a policy debate, so he gossips to avoid that policy debate because, yeah, that would probably be played immediately on whoever comes in because we have Mitsu at, Paul 8, so he'll just instantly win anything that Crane throws at him. Okay, shameful display. Challenger walks into it, so Seeker was keeper avoids, so no keeper. So we'll see what Mitsu has in store. Does he have further duels to utilize this proving ground to draw more cards? Okay, we see a Hurricane Punch. So obviously we're going to get Ring Effect with Mitsu here, and I don't think he needs to go to 5 cards to get the Fate, but he might want to. Because Mitsu is now Uber Giant without even using Shameful Display to win this conflict. There's a second Hurricane Pinch to draw another card. So that's 2 of the 3 needed. Oh, 5, sorry, 2 of the 5. I don't know where I got 3 from, sorry, that must be a different card. So yeah, this must be heading up to the 5 to get a ring off, and Dragon to 2 might be coming down. Okay, there's the duelist training, possibly from what he drew or not, which means the Proving Ground will be able to draw a card. Obviously this challenge will be bowed. I don't think it's that much of a problem now. Now, Challenger's not doing anything. I wonder if Zarzuckett is specifically not using Kyuden Kikita in this whole thing just to get an honored character. Because all the other characters are honored, so I don't know if Kyuden Kikita is going to be used this turn if it's not used on the Challenger. Okay, Seal the Dragon comes down. That is card. Oh, thankfully they have a counter for me now. That's right. Oh, Way of the Dragon, double. Let's see if there's a calling in favors, maybe, unless no, pass. So it looks like we're going to see a double ring trigger by Mitsu here. And we still, in the duelist training, still hasn't activated to draw the card for the Proving Ground. Oh, right. Of course, you can't use Kyuden Kikita. I'm an idiot. Because then you're honoring, but you're giving a card to Mitsu. That makes total sense. Okay, Mitsu is going to resolve his first ring effect. The Earth Ring hits Defend Your Honor. Draws another card. Mitsu's going to resolve the Earthring again. Court games gets hit, and he draws another card. So we have a 3-card advantage. Most likely 4 when this proving ground comes around. Oh, he did, or I suppose you might not want to do the duelist training to allow the Doji Challenger to be honored. But for a card, I think it might be worth it. I don't know. Maybe not. I guess a Way of the Crane is a card, so it's like you're giving them a Way of the Crane for free, or equalizing with the card draw through proving ground. The Hawk Tattoos were not discarded. Oh, they were. Okay, so there's less chance. There's a formal invitation in the deck. One more Hawk Tattoo, so there's a much smaller chance of this Mitsu popping uninvited into one of these conflicts. Shameful was not used, though. There's no first conflict from Dragon. They don't drop a conflict character to take advantage of it. I suppose, let's see. I mean, money's always good, but I think Crane's going to opt for firing here to try to take this honor status off Mitsu and chop 3 off his stats. We have a political. Heading to shameful display. So we're more than half the way through Dragon's deck, given all the Hurricane punches and moving ground draws and stuff like that. And there are conflict characters in the deck. Not very many. Let me just do a double check. But oh, there are none. Sorry, I see sometimes conflict characters in these decks, so I just assumed there was, but no, there are in fact 0 conflict characters. So there's actually no danger of this shameful display not breaking. Takes in the Whisper on political, which makes sense because Dragon has both types of attacks left, but I don't think they actually have any way to stand this Mitsu now. Oh, and there's the Hawk Tattoo. The 3rd Hawk Tattoo was in hand. Guess that's not that unlikely. Initiates a duel, gets the bow, and gets the So that's unfortunate. Favor stays with Dragon, and Crane loses a bunch of characters. So yeah, the Hawk Tattoo was definitely a huge there. Get drawing an extra card, or well, card for card, at least 1 for 1, and stopping the shameful display from being broken. Not a province you want to come back to try to wipe it out. So we see everything get wiped except for the Bash Samurai for Crane. Yukuni's kept and Proving. Oh, we get another Proving Grounds, at least temporarily. So that Proving Grounds have now drawn, I think, 6 cards total. So we see Tranquil Philosopher gets dropped with 3 Fate. On the other side, Kawanin, Yoshi possibly might be able to get something done against people dishonored. Chancellor's Aid gets bought, nice cheap character to do things with. But Kawanin I don't think is large enough to actually do what Crane would want him to do. Duels to the death and just like bowing militarily. And now this Mitsu with the duelist training by itself represents 2 cards when you get in his way. So card disparities, I think, only just going to get worse because Crane's not seeing any additional card draw. So we see a lot of fate banked. We see bids dropped to 1 for Dragon players. So now Crane is under some heavy honor pressure in terms of when they do their bids. And only 1 more card. Of course, they'll get some honor when they Brash Samurai leaves play, and they can probably honor with their box, etc. But so the Philosopher has an option of picking up a 3 Fate Water Ring if you wished, although they probably want to leave Fate on the rings for Mitsu to use. Well, he still has 2 Fate. I don't think that's a real rush. So the Philosopher could cash in quite substantially here, and Water Ring would actually do something. Not a ton. Okay, we see Gossip played again on the policy debate. Eventually that policy debate will be played, but not this turn. remember Proving Grounds. Like, I mean, I'm happy to see them. So many of them now. I always thought it was a very good card when it came out. But I remember I took Crane to Worlds last November, and I had two of them in my deck, and all the other Crane players. I didn't do very well, so obviously we're right. But all the other Crane players were telling me I was crazy for putting Improving Grounds into my deck, that there wasn't consistent enough, etc., etc. But I don't know. Still kind of like it. Still think it proves itself more often than not to be worth the slot. We see Dragon pass their conflict after the Tranquil Philosopher moves water off the ring. Okay, so he spreads out the fate, so no big paydays, and to get more fate on rings for his High House Light to use. Oh yes, Baron. I did not think of that line. Thank you very much. Yeah, I never really think of Dragon as honoring out. But yeah, given that Mitsu can double enact rings, I think you're right. That's a very real danger here for Crane. Could pull an old lion action with the honor win. So I don't know if Zarzuckett's gotten a way like a mark of shame because he's blocked off the policy debate. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, blocked off the policy debate. He's going air uh, here. No keepers yet for. No, he hasn't seen a keeper yet either. So in a lot of ways, Crane's dynasty draw has been decent, but not great. Certainly not as good as many Proving Grounds and Mitsus that the Dragons pulled up. So we see Mitsu step in the way. Obviously, this is not a conflict he's going to win. He gets dueled, Proving Grounds, draw two more cards. Honors the Brash Samurai. Voice has been off, I think, almost his entire game. It was on briefly, I think, when the Brash Samurai honored himself and Mitsu wasn't honored. Yeah, possibly. I think, yeah, Baron, you might be right. Grab the earring and then just kick it off a couple more times. So you'd be +2, and then, yeah, Way the Dragon. You're right, 25, yeah, barring anything. So it could have been this round. Return the offense. And, oh, wow. So I guess the Kakita school being shown what dueling's all about as Mitsu continues to just draw cards and duel away. 7 cards now, I think, off Proving Grounds. Oh, maybe more. Maybe 9. We see Fine Katana going on the Tranquil Philosopher. Okay, he's going for the card. Obviously, he wants 5 cards played. New name going on the Tranquil Philosopher. So you can enact his 2 rings. How many Defend Your Honors been playing? Because I don't know if Zarzuckett has a calling in favors to stop this. Only 1 Defend Your Honor played, so there's a very good chance there's other ones. We see a new name going, Mikuni, who's a tiny 14/11. That's 5 cards. Seal the Dragon goes on a monk, double monk. So which 2 rings are we going to get to see here? I mean, maybe Zarzuckett taking the air ring might have put it in his mind. We might see double air ring, but no. We see Earth Ring, so Defend Your Honor gets chucked. I don't think that's useful against this Dragon board that much anyway. But Dragon just continues, just like they might not be able to honor out Baron because they're going to hit the bottom of their conflict deck and lose 5 here pretty soon. And and he resolves the air ring too. So it was 1 air, 1 earth. Interesting. And he gained 2. Um, hmm. I, it doesn't have to be different rings, right? No, because you chose double earth last time. So you think if you do air, you would want to do double air, um, or as opposed to just single air, unless you're on kind of a more slow trip. I mean, earth's always a good choice. Definitely don't get me wrong, but okay, we see the mark of shame go down outside the conflict. So I guess that earth ring did not hit would possibly be very influential here. Mitsu is now dishonored. It's over to Dragon. I don't think there's anything in the Dragon deck that can stop this. Yeah, we see the noble sacrifice, and boom, the brush, and he gets torn away. So now the question is, I mean, 1 and 8, but one of those pieces you might have been able to hit with an extra earth ring. So I wonder what the triggering of the air ring the second time around. I would like to hear kind of the line there. Well, I want to say mostly always the players better understanding of the line when I'm casting than I do, but I would think go one way or the other, double air or double earth. And there's no guarantee the earth ring would have hit one of those pieces, but definitely swings the game quite substantially. But I wouldn't say Crane is out of the water by any means here. They have two characters at this point, but their board is, I would say, not as good as Dragon's board. They're down by 3 cards, and Fate is equal. So plus you always have Sacred Sanctuary you have to deal with 6 honor. Revel's bows the challenger. Ooh, that stings a little bit. You got rid of Yukuni, but not Yukuni, Mitsu. But because you did that, your challenger got bowed by Revels. Of course, now Zarzuckett did know or very highly suspect this was Revels. I mean, he knows Sacred Sanctuary is on the stronghold. He's seen all the other provinces, so he did know this was Revels. Okay, so it was all a plan. Because now he can bring him Yako, dishonor the Tranquil Philosopher. So could we see a second Noble Sack here? Which would in fact swing it hugely over to Crane, for sure. Yep, because we see court games to honor somebody. Oh, no, court games honors Tranquil Philosopher. Okay, stopping that for now. We're on the Earth Ring that would equalize this card draw. We have a Dragon Tattoo. So it doesn't seem to any events he wants to kick off there, but that will be quite useful when the policy debate comes around. We see favors stick with Dragon. Okay, Chancellor's Aid. Yeah, it gives the discards let go. Not a big deal. There doesn't mean anything to him really in this matchup. So yeah, and we know the Dragon has 2 of them in their hand at least, which they're not going to use. So. I mean, yeah, there's been 10 more cards drawn by by Dragon than by Crane by the end of turn 3. Now, some of these were Hurricane Punches that were really for no reason other than to kick off the Mitsu ability and the High House of Light ability. So, it's not like 10 extra cards were played for value, but still, they were drawn. Okay, we see Investigator flip on the bottom, which is very welcome, I'm sure, for Dragon to avoid any shenanigans future rounds on this tanked up Philosopher or the Ikuni that's coming in. I would imagine the Investigator we bought. Here we have Kwanin flips again after he got dumped. No, he was kept. Okay. I guess, yeah, he's much more viable person to be able to bow this Philosopher. The Mystic would be good buy too. I think Crane will go ahead and buy the Mystic simply because even this Dragon Tattoo is a value Mystic target. Hi, Eddie, Sugi. How are things? Oh, let's check. We see Yukuni bot. Oh, okay, everyone. Sorry, apologies for the typing in the background. I've been having Brian Murphy as my co-host lately, and it's been pretty fun. He wasn't available at the start, but oh, there he is. He's in chat. I said I didn't even know what his AKA was. I'll bring him in via Discord, so I'll have to go a little silent for a second. It's been a pretty exciting game, so let's see. Why can I not find the phone button here? I'll have to go to... I guess I didn't do my usual can people hear me type thing. So I would imagine they can, or they would have commented on a completely silent cast. So you can let me know if you hear Brian when he comes on. I think I have my OBS set properly.
I think so. I could hear you when you were on.
Great. See, that's always good to check that way.
Because my random assortment of passwords did not work for today. It turns out there's a more complete number system than just one.
Well, welcome, Brian. So far, catch you up a little bit. I think you saw the end. I mean, the Dragon was doing really well with a tanked up Mitsu from the very beginning and drawing tons off proving grounds, but Canada and Zarzuckett have landed a big noble sack, Mark of Shane noble sack on Mitsu last turn. So we got a tighter game now, I think, for sure.
Well, I can understand that if Mitsu very rarely leaves the table in games where he shows up.
We landed like 2 Policy Blades first turn and drew 4 cards off proving grounds. It was looking ugly, but Zarzuckett has been piloting this Kill Crane deck for quite a while, and he knows his way around the bridges and tolls of Rokugan. So
Oh yes. Oh here, if you don't want to buy this bridge, may I suggest this wonderful view?
look over
Off you
here. Yeah.
go.
Thank you, Baron, for letting us know that can both be heard. We see Kawanin head in for the air ring.
Yeah.
I guess air ring didn't have any fate on it, did he? Did it? Oh, so okay. So Zarzuckett is definitely eyeing up this potential dishonor problem he's got coming up. There was an interesting. So Baron pointed out that he thinks, and I agree with him. I couldn't see any flaws of logic that last turn Dragon could have honored out using Mitsu's ability. I suppose it would depend on which province they hit and stuff like that, but they could have like triple grabbed the air ring and won. But it was a very unusual line to sort of notice. So we see, yeah, Kawana heading into upholding authority here.
Well, that is one of the disadvantages. I know Christian is normally a unicorn player.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, one of the better unicorn deck designers in the world of people who actually who post public deck lists all the time of saying, "I tried this, I tried that, I tried this," so you can see where his processes are. So that may have been something that was not a play line that would be readily seen. But if you play a lot of Dragon and you've played a lot of Mitsu, because that's why I think he's going after the air ring now, is that basically he's only one Mitsu and a Yakuni away from getting the 25 in a real hurry.
Yeah, Mitsu had a way of the dragon on him. He's just doing it by himself. You're telling me that Unicorn doesn't regularly honor out?
Oh, they usually do honor out, but it's called out of honor. It's a completely
the other way?
different way. Oh yeah, yes. I remember the first time I got dishonored out playing Unicorn was at a World Championships, and I was playing Jakob. And he decided in his infinite wisdom to put me out of my misery before the second turn ended.
Ouch. So yeah, Kawanin looks to be, well, I think we're still deciding on defenders here. Because it is upholding authority. It always hurts a little to push that defender button, at least for me. Like, no matter what, even if it's the third province, you're like, oh, I don't want to defend this. But it looks like the Tranquil does opt to defend it.
Yep. Mitsu's got all the appropriate things. He's now a courtier and a bushi and a monk with a Tranquil Philosopher.
But he has to get his skill up immediately, or this will be kind of a useless defense.
Well, it's going to force the Crane to play something.
No, Kawanin can just bow him, right?
Now. That's true.
So he needs 3 more skill. And a Hurricane Punch won't do it, and I didn't see any bonsais in the list, so I mean, he could just leave with the upholding or the Fateful Ground.
The other issue with the overall deck listing, there's Kawanin with the bow.
Interesting.
Maybe he's planning on favorable grounding in Mitsu, but I don't think so. I think he wants the attack.
Yeah. It could be just a High House of Light thing.
I don't think he's going to play 5 cards.
So we see the Fabled Ground other way.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it does take the Kawanin ability off the table.
Yep. But he did bow the Philosopher, which is handy, but he prevents him from getting the ring. The ring would still sit unclaimed.
Mm-hmm. I guess you can go back water here if he wants, or I mean, Void has 3 fate on it. I don't know how anyone in the world, I don't know how passes up Void with a 3 fate on it. I don't think I could do Void with 2 fate, ever pass that up.
Well, I don't know how it gets to 3 fate, if it does.
When you do 5 conflicts a turn.
As a Unicorn player, I always think I may not need the Void Ring, but I can use Cavalry Reserves. I can always use Cavalry Reserves.
Yeah, Ron, I agree. If you didn't really mean to stay in that fight, like you were never meant to break up holding, the 3 fate seems to be like quite the ring of capitalism, as Action Johnny used to always say. That seems quite alluring. Okay, we see four fate on the void ring. Go, folks,
Yeah,
you'll never see it again. Four
I
fate
think
sitting on a
he's
void ring.
yeah. So he can play greater understanding, I guess. I don't think it's on
Yeah.
his list, but those are the things I think about. It's like four fate. What are you gonna do with four fate? He's not gonna play scout and train. He hasn't flipped over all the provinces yet.
We see Market of Kazunokami.
Well, that bows. You
Vows
could, eh?
Suguni. So there we go. Both poor dragons. Both their major characters got bowed just by effects.
Yeah, that is also one of the issues with the Dragon deck on the whole is that as good as Yakudi is with his ability, he usually doesn't jive very well with the conflict deck.
Now, as much as you don't want to lose this, we know because it's been gossiped 2 turns in a row that there's a policy debate in Dragon's Hand. So yeah, it's kind of like I guess you're willing to take one policy debate as long as you don't lose the Void Ring here, or Zarzuckett's thinking it over. Interesting. I mean, he had a ton of fate. I guess you have a very expensive conflict deck, but I think the investigator would help a lot. I mean, obviously Yukuni's very good and helps a lot too. But the investigator seems like a very quality character when you're talking about these big swing cards like Mark of Shame and Noble Sack, etc., to sort of thin that out.
But I could definitely see where that one would come from. I mean, overall, I love the Kitsune Investigator. For characters that don't match your overall game plan,
Mhm.
they are absolutely hilarious in terms of like its raw power levels. Like, well, but he's a Corcher, yeah, which a dragon is actually a negative rather than a positive.
Mhm.
In any other deck, it's like, oh, I could play for shame. Oh, I could do this deck. Is like, no, I could sit here. I can't be targeted by any of my own actions. But the good news is he lets me know what's coming. It's like he's gonna whisper in Matt in Yakuni's ear. It's like, watch out, man. There's a break.
There's the pitch. Yep. So favor, thanks to the favor, wins the Void Ring. So
Yep.
and brings in a keeper too. So that was a really. I mean, you used up a character, but that was definitely not wanting to get policy debated. Had a big effect there. So you got a keeper. A Void Ring went off. Uh,
Yep.
but we don't know what's in Zarzuckett's hands. It could be another crucial thing to like kill the Shikuni, kill this philosopher, right?
Yeah. Well, he's pretty
Well,
close
he's going
to. I
back
mean,
to upholding, so it can't be that crucial. So,
well, I mean,
and with the air
he
ring too.
bows. He bows automatically at rebels.
Hmm. And
Uh,
shameful, yeah, shameful. You don't want to do,
Shameful. He
yeah.
doesn't. He doesn't want. Well, actually, it depends if he has a duel in his hand.
That's true, because then it
He
would
can
just be an
always
honored keeper,
re-honor.
right? It wouldn't really
Yeah.
matter that much, yeah. Uh, and just with Kawan, and I guess these other two are not that big, but I don't know if the crackback is going to be particularly strong either. I guess Kawana just risks court games if you send him alone. But yay, we get to see a hand here. Always like that. We see
Yeah.
the Tranquil Philosopher comes in, lends a little bit of strength, stops the honor loss, which is big actually when you're
Yep.
22, and
Well,
threatening that as a potential part of the game. Plays Assassination. Wow. Goes down to 2 honor. It is an
yeah.
air ring, which he has a very good chance of winning, so, but still,
Yeah.
he's
He's
not that afraid of this honor loss.
Yeah, there's a couple of plays this game I would have to say would have to talk to Zarzuckett afterwards just to grasp the full
Oh, he
understanding
has
of
his
what he
own.
was
Okay,
talking
I
about.
forgot he was keeper fair. That's why he has Marcus
Yeah,
Shane else. So he has his own keeper sitting there. Okay, air ring does make more sense now. Get your own
yeah,
keeper. But man, obviously he's very favor. He shows a lot of favoritism with keeper Munker keeps. Some of them he assassinates in back alleys. Another one he fights hard for. It's not fair.
yeah. I'm actually based on what he had in his hand. I'm surprised that he didn't block with Miyako. One to cut off the ring, so
Hmm.
that would be no one to assassinate. And secondly, he had the first counter, and he actually had a defend your honor as well in theory to
Yeah.
honor Miyako if he wanted to.
Oh,
Uh,
oh, so he didn't want to lose both the assassinates? I guess. Calling it defend your honor, voice of honor. Okay.
yeah,
So those are both of those are pretty big right now. Oh, but the calling in favor gets chucked. So he's got 2 cancels that are very well, obviously viable. Voices on
yeah.
and defend now with Kawana.
I
So,
figure seal his dragon to get rid of the bug trait. No, it was just an attachment. It looks like he played for a fate,
mhm.
like just for the stat. I mean, in theory, you could try to get rid of. I don't know if he had anything that played off of Courtiers, but I'm not. I'm not sensing that.
So the Mystic doesn't have the strongest. I mean, it's good that they're not on the table, I guess, but it doesn't really have the strongest targets, given the
No,
matchup for killing. So what would you opt for?
I would probably, in
Maybe a
this
new name?
particular case, I would take the katana
Katana? Okay. Yeah,
just
you're
for the pure stats. It
good.
makes
So
it
you,
harder to get a military duel off.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
harder
you
to
are small.
beat the defend your honors, etc. Yeah, or
Yeah. The other
Kawanin
thing,
helps you
yeah.
not be
Well,
bow with Kawanin.
yeah. Kawanin is really good for this overall matchup, just because the High House doesn't protect you from Kawanin.
Okay, so we have Crane at three honor, 3 cards.
Yep,
Uh, down, but
but it's going to be a bid one
two
thing.
breaks.
He
Yeah,
got
definitely
a
be a bid one
great
thing.
flip based on what he's got. Look what he's looking at. Because I mean, it depends which one he wants.
Okay, so we
But I
have
think with the Yoshi,
two tranquil philosophers.
so that's
So
that's two. That's three fate.
we
So
could have
he's
a
at 24.
forfeit. We could have a forfeit water ring this round too. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's well. Yukuni could copy it too and move it around, so he can get to 20. He could get to 24
yeah,
and then attack air ring with everyone, right?
yeah. Force of defense.
But if you attack political, I don't think the defense would go. And Market of Kaze no Kami is on reveal, so well, maybe it would. Maybe it would still 5, 8,
Yeah,
9, 11.
yeah.
He's
He
11
also.
political to 9, so he'd be winning on
I would
board.
figure that at this point he's got to either pick up.
He could pick up Yoshi. Oh, no, Yoshi's too expensive. Cunning Negotiator, maybe.
Well, it's going to be
Yeah,
either the cutting
yeah.
negotiator or
So that's
Satori.
5 more because that throws it away.
Yeah.
6, 7, yeah, 12. So pretty close still, though.
Yep.
It's definitely a possibility, but there's, Yukuni copying Tranquil Philosopher is not a
Yeah.
super useful Yukuni copy, except in this particular case.
Yeah. In this particular case, what I'm thinking is I'd be looking for the ring money getting spread out.
Yeah. I got to say, when
Well,
I thought about this game and doing the analysis on, I did not think it was going to be a battle about dragoning honoring out.
that's one of the things about Dragon. I mean, one thing about the philosopher is he's usually not used to honor out. He's used to prevent yourself from being honored
Yes,
out.
yeah. So it looks like he's going for it. Oh,
Yeah.
oh no, it's Way of the Dragon on Yukuni. I think he doesn't have to
Yeah.
attack.
No, he's gonna get be a mystic. That's why he bought the be a
Oh,
mystic.
Mystic,
Was in
yeah.
case of Way of the
Okay.
Dragon. That's why
uh,
he bought it. If he has a second one, the game is over.
well, we don't see the Mystic. That's game.
There's a
The Mystic
oh, he
wasn't
didn't do it.
used in
Wow.
to kill the Way of the Dragon
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't do that. Of just saying Way of the Dragon's got to go, especially on Mitsu
on
or on
Yukuni.
Yukuni.
Yeah, so we see them huge forces staring across the bridge for each other, and then, or not the
Yep.
bridge, the field, and then yeah, just move some fate around, and win the game. Oh, it's draw phase. Thank you. Yeah, but what?
Oh, that's right. That's good. I keep forgetting that because I have my draw
Oh,
phase
during the
actually
conflict
window
phase.
turned on.
Yeah, me and Mystic, I never.
Yep.
Okay, so you had nothing he could do. Wow.
Nope,
Okay,
not at that point. Well,
that was a really interesting game in the end.
yes.
Yep. Thanks.
Well, thank you for having me, Shane. Good
Yeah.
night,
Thanks for
everyone.
dropping
Be
dropping
well.
by.
Sorry,
Thanks
I
everybody for
missed the
watching.
beginning of fireworks. Okay, take care, all.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope to see you guys in some more World Cup games. Thanks to both the players for a very interesting game to watch. Okay, so that's 3 for Sweden, 2 for Canada, and final 2 games coming up soon.